Okay, today we're looking at fixing my blower motor on a Tempstar furnace. 9 mpv. Variable speed motor. It's also known as an ECM motor. So the motor's been removed from this. There's the furnace. The motor was in that top hole. It's been removed. There's all the bottom stuff that doesn't get touched. So you have to undo your thermostat wires, one that goes to the AC unit outside, one that goes to the thermostat, and then undo 2 screws here and here, and the motor slides out along these 2 rails. Okay, here's the motor on the bench. This end was facing out in the furnace room with all the control boards. You can see there's one main control board here. There's another little main control board down there. That little one down there does the blower motor stuff. This is the control for the whole furnace up here. This is the ECM motor, and it's missing the control module. I already undid the control module. It's just 2 screws here. You pull those 2 screws out, and this control module just comes off. This was all in there like that. You take 2 screws out, undo a plastic clip on the other side over here, and this piece pulls out. And what you don't see here that I've already removed is, you see the big black burn mark down there? Well, that was where they call RT01 would sit. Here's a picture of RT01. It's an SG379. It's got another name if you Google it and order it. So I pulled this board off, and you can see that's where it was soldered across, right there and there. So I unsoldered it, pulled this. It's actually a thermistor. What it is, it's a current limiting device. It limits the inrush current when the motor starts. And I don't know why it burns out or why one side gets super hot, but it did do that. And it's supposed to be good for 30 amps. So that means, I guess, 30 amps has to run through this heavy trace. Maybe it's good for 30 amps, but it never passes 30 amps. I don't know. Anyhow, I ordered 2 of these, a pack of 2 for $6 each. That came to $12 for 2 of them online, and I put a rush delivery, which is $20. So with my taxes, it's going to be $30 for 2 of these. I'm going to solder one back in the position here where it came from, right in there, and that should be it. Put this all back together. I'll video that after, install the blower motor back in the furnace, and it should all work. So for $30, you can avoid buying a $700 motor. That's what they want for these things, $600 and something. And you can't just buy, if you buy this new piece all new without fixing it, you can see down in the inside, all embedded in epoxy down here, there's a whole bunch of electronics down in there. It plugs in over here. There's this plug. This does the speed control here. And this other plug right here is the power for the furnace. So this is low voltage. This is all 24 volt stuff down here. This is 120 volt stuff up here. And this lower electronics board has to be programmed to run with this particular model of furnace. And so if you buy the motor and then get it programmed, it's probably even more money. And if you had a serviceman come and do all this, you're probably up over $1,000. So for $30, actually you can do it for less because you only need 1 of these. I just ordered a pack of 2. For 30 bucks, you can save yourself probably over $1,000. So I'll put more on when I get the part. The parts will be in 2 days, rush delivery, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I received my replacement parts for the furnace blower motor today, and they are SL32s, and you can see in the receipt they're direct replacements for SG379s, and they have a 1R030 on them, and the 30 on the end of that number means they're good for 30 amps. So if you get one that's 1R025 or 1R020, those are good for 25 and 20 amps respectively. So make sure you're replacing the one in your furnace ECM motor with the right one. In my case, it was an SG379 gets replaced with the 1R030 SL32. So 30 amps capability. Okay, and there's the old burnt out one, and there's the new one. The burnt out one looks to be a little bit thicker, but it's supposed to do the same. They're both supposed to do the same job. So we're gonna solder it back in here and hope for the best. Okay, so I pushed the component through, and now I bent the leads over. I'm just gonna clip them to the right length here. Bend them nice and flat. Okay, now I'm going to solder them on. I'd probably use lots of solder to ensure good heat transfer capability, because this thing might get hot at 30 amps. Okay, there's my solder job. Let it cool, and then we'll try it out. Okay, now I just push the other board in and put the 2 screws back in. Now we'll put this back up, plug this. I measured between these 3 terminals. I measured between the 3 motor terminals and got 6 ohms, 6 ohms, and 6 ohms, or 6.2, 6.2, 6.2 between any 2 of the 3 terminals, so it means the motor is good. So now we're going to plug the motor back into the board. Okay, and now we can put the board back on, or the ECM module back on. Okay, so I positioned the 2 plugins at the top, put the 2 screws back in, and I'll just tighten them up. Okay, and she's ready to be reinstalled. Okay, so I slid the furnace motor back in, put the 2 screws back in to hold it in. It slides in those slots in there. Wired the board back up because I took a bunch of pictures before I took it off to make sure it was all correct. Wired these all correctly again. Turn the breaker back on. And I'm ready to give it a try. So, may not work, who knows. Okay, I got power. I don't know if you can see or not, but the heartbeat on the control board is good. They call it the heartbeat. Bright, dim, bright, dim, bright, dim. So it looks like the control board's all right. I didn't touch anything on the other control board. And if I flip my summer fan switch, which connects hot up to the green, the summer fan should come on. Oh, there it goes. And we're in business. Fan is now running. I don't know if you can hear it or not. See it? So that's it. Problem solved. Yay. That, for an HVAC guy to come fix that, would have been over $1,000. Probably would have tried to sell me a new motor. Summer fan off. Okay, I'm going to just try the air conditioning quick. You see my thermostat is back up and running properly. So we'll put this down to kick the air conditioning on, make sure it's going to work. There. Okay, it's down to 19. Here comes the fan. This is the high speed setting. And it's on high speed. And I should get cold air out the furnace ducts. And I'm getting cold air out the furnace ducts. So everything's back to normal. That's better.